I'm Amra Azad, the founder of Unique Empower. Unique Empower is an Instagram and YouTube page in which I inspire and motivate all. I speak up, connect with the audience, and inspire them to follow a healthy mental lifestyle. And I believe that voice and words are more productive and inspiring than a fancy short movie. Hence, today we are here to support and motivate the mental health of women as a group of three. Our guest speaker is Amara Ashraf. She is a clinical psychologist, head of counseling service at Shanti Marga, and she does part-time lecturer and wellness counselor. And Kulsum Buhari, she's a co-founder of Unique Empower. She have completed ESL trained teacher and completed diploma in psychology. Today, our core theme is mental health. And we are proudly hosting this virtual show representing Unique Empower. Mental health is a condition that is deeply avoided. And usually no one is worried or concerned about mental health unless it invades the brain and drives physical health up crazy. Even though we are in the 21st century, we don't take any situation seriously unless it breaks us down to the extreme. Today, we hope to inspire you to take care of your mental health better. And now I would love to hear Amara Ashraf to take up the microphone and share her thoughts.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's nice to see all of you. Although I know the cameras are off, it would be nice to see your faces. But thank you for joining in. So yes, we can start. Thank you for the invitation to start with Amra. I think it's a very pertinent topic that we're discussing about mental health and women, something that I think needs to be spoken and localized about. So yes, we can start.
Right. Why mental health is important?
Right. So I think that's again a very important question. So when you say mental health, this does not necessarily mean that this is the lack of some kind of a diagnosis, or the fact that you don't have depression or you don't have anxiety. But mental health is something beyond that. It's something very holistic, and it includes our emotional well-being, our psychological well-being, and our social well-being, right? Plus, mental health has a very direct effect on our physical well-being as well. So it is only when we feel better, we can do better in terms of how we perform in our life, how we are physically active, how good we are with our friends, our family, how we do good in our studies, and how we are a happy and content person overall, right? So mental health is something that is, I would say, holistic, has a lot of dynamic components in it, and it's very important because if that is out of the equation in your life, you would be losing a lot, right? So it's about how we positive mental health or good mental health help us understand people better, help us understand ourselves better, be more content with ourselves, our life, experience emotions well, be happy, help us to manage stress well, and make healthy choices overall. So at whatever stage in life it could be, mental health is very important, and especially during critical life changes like becoming a child to an adolescent to early adulthood, and then even old age. Throughout the lifespan, mental health, I would say, is something that's very important, because if you don't have it, you would lose the quality of your life. You wouldn't be able to live properly or live well. It's like, for an example, for someone who is having a physical disability, like someone who can't walk, someone who doesn't have a hand, or someone who cannot physically use a part of their body although they need. So if your mental health is impaired, it still means that your life is going to be impaired in some way. So which is why I would say mental health is important.
Okay. And what are the habits a woman can incorporate in her life to improve her mental health?
Right. So something that I think which women don't take seriously is their mental health and also the physical health to a certain extent. So, like, generally with life, getting married, having children, women tend to like change a lot in their lifestyles. And again, it's something that I think should not be something that you need to be taking care only for like a particular time, but something that as women we need to be prioritizing throughout our lives since we are very young, to learn about mental health, to learn what it means, and to learn what you need to do in order to improve your mental health. So when you ask what habits a woman can incorporate in her life, I would say to start with understanding what mental health. Constantly be willing to research and know and understand what mental health means, the ways that you can improve your mental health, what you can do for your mental health, right? So constantly keep seeking that knowledge. Number two would mean to have understand like what self-care means to you. So self-care doesn't necessarily mean you having to kind of, whether you're having your facials, you're going to the salon, or you're meeting, like not what you do for your physical beauty, but I would say self-care is something that is way, way beyond that. So, which means you would also need to be taking time for yourself, having some me time every day, doing something that you enjoy, meeting people you enjoy hanging around with, following something that you're very passionate about, things that make you feel good about yourself and your life. So, self-care is something beyond that. So, seeking knowledge, understanding and practicing self-care, and being mindful about your mental health, setting boundaries, I think it's another very important habit that women need to incorporate more in their lives, which means setting boundaries doesn't mean that you push away people, but instead you reinforce very healthy boundaries where you know what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. So not about disrespecting people, but understanding that you have your own capacity and what you're okay with letting into your life. So these are the three things I believe as women, three habits that we can incorporate into our lives as women, which can improve our mental health.
Okay, very nice. How to manage the presence of negativity in life?
So I think that is a little bit of a continuation of what I just spoke, especially in terms of setting boundaries. So when you say negativity in life, it can come in different forms. It can come from workplace, it can come from your own families, it could come from friend circles or in-laws, it could be coming from anywhere, or even random people you meet. So one of the main things about understanding about setting boundaries is that to know, again, to be aware of yourself, to be aware, to reflect and be aware of what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, right? And setting firm boundaries down in terms of practicing saying, even if it means, hi, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about it, or hi, I'm sorry, I would not be available, right? So negativity is something that you cannot prevent, right? You can completely diminish out of your lives, but having that understanding in terms of what you are okay with and what you can do will really benefit how you look at it and what you can do about it.
So then, what do you consider the major cause of mental health issues faced nowadays?
So when you look at mental health issues, when you study about it, you'll get to know that that there's a lot of reasons where mental health issues can stem from, right? So childhood abuse, trauma, neglect, social isolation, feeling lonely, experiencing some forms of discrimination or stigma, racism, poverty, social disadvantages, grief, loss of someone you love, severe or long-term stress can lead to a mental health issue, and then unemployment, like drugs and alcohol misuse, domestic violence, being bullied, abused as an adult, right? Physical issues. So if you look at it that way, there is so many reasons that could cause mental health issues faced nowadays. So it can only be properly assessed and diagnosed by a practicing psychologist, right? Which again is important to know, because I mean, anyone who comes in with a mental health issue, it's hard to say, okay, this is your problem, this is why you're not well, or this is why you're not doing okay, right? It needs a very detailed assessment needs to be done in order to understand all aspects of this person's life, in order to identify what could have been the possibilities.